We wanted to create a club where people like us could feel at home.
It was all a bit of a blur, really, to be quite honest.
Started 10 years ago at a place called the Wood Green Trade Union and Trade Union and Community Centre, that's it, in Wood Green, North London. And it was started by Michael Dog and my good self. Mainly it was Michael Dog's idea as well, actually. I told him it would never work, that people are going to come to our gigs more than once a year. I mean, in those days we were a psychedelic club, very much hailing from the free festival movement, the old Stonehenge free festival scene. In fact, it was the first year that it didn't happen when we started, after the Battle of the Beanfield. We were moved to the Roby after Wood Green. It's a pub in Finsbury Park, an Irish pub. We were there for a good long time, I think 6 years? Yeah, 6 years, running Club Dog on a weekly basis. We sort of started there, and the first show we did was with David Allen from Gong and Soft Machine, and it was his first show in the UK in something like 12 years. And we convinced the Roby to let us have a go, saying, "Oh, we'll sell out your venue, you know, it'd be great." They didn't really believe us, but they took us on face value. We had 1,000 people turn up, and it was absolute hell, because the place only held 500 people, and it was a virtual riot. And eventually, in about sort of, I suppose, 88, 89, with acid house and things all happening, that's when we first started to touch into dance music. From the DJ perspective. And it was hilarious at the time because all the travellers and all the people who you look at now who are into techno hated it then. I mean, there were riots about us playing acid tracks and stuff like that. It was like, this ain't real music, it's bleeding computers. So sort of lots of reactionary, old-fashioned conservative values coming out of all these real wacko, complete freakheads. And sort of, you know, we carried on with that. We just decided, look, we know it's good, you'll like it in the end, which they did. And that sort of developed the line, really, which turned into Megadog. And after that, we worked with people like Cabaret Voltaire, Dub Syndicate, and Psychic TV, Back to the Planet, Censor, Osrit. Still traditional Club Dog, really, except now with the dance DJ lineup going alongside it. In October '92, we put Orbital on for the first ever time. And the place was just extraordinary. I mean, the event in itself was amazing. I think they were playing with Back to the Planet, which is also pretty amazing. We watched 1,500 people go absolutely apeshit to this amazing sort of music. And then I suppose the rest of Megadog's history is kind of pretty clear-cut. We convinced virtually every artist out there in the techno scene to try and play live. We developed a show and a stage show and an environment that supported the fact that these artists were not very visual at all in their presentation, but our shows are renowned for being very visually strong and very psychedelic to look at, and the stage shows are second to none, I think. label was started by Michael Dog, by my partner. He'd always believed that we should take on more of an active role in trying to help push bands and artists that we believed in, and he took it on board as his own project. And in fact, from that sort of time, really, Michael and I have changed our roles. We used to be very much combined as a team, working on all aspects of Dog things. But as Megadog has grown alongside the label, it's ended up meaning that I deal with all our live work and our live shows, touring, the design aspects of it, etc. Whereas Michael deals with the everything that comes in with the label, which is all to do with finding artists, compiling records, helping on production, helping on artworks, getting the marketing right and getting it out to people and letting them know that it's there. But he sort of saw it that, Megadog had created a platform. It was the perfect way of promoting people that we were interested in working with. Michael wanted to exploit that, obviously, and also he saw it that there was a whole side of music that was underrepresented within the dance label market. I mean, and we're talking about bands like Eat Static and Banco de Gaia. People who come in much more from the sort of maybe the System 7, Steve Hillage kind of perspective. This is modern day psychedelic music, but constructed around, modern technology, i.e., they work with computers and they work with drum machines and sequencing and all the rest of it. Whereas once upon a time you'd have a band and call it Osric Tentacles, now you have a band and call it Eat Static. Like Mowax has been the big deal for a little while, and Jungle, both of which are beginning to slide, and they've only been there 6 months, So that's the kind of thing that people like Michael and myself really don't go for. And we felt that there had to be a champion of something that, look, this record may not make money now, but it's going to sell for the next 10 years, and it'll make money eventually. And that's very much the spirit behind Planet Dog. I mean, it takes on board a lot of the aspects of Megadog as well, in as much as, Megadog cares about who it's working with, and it cares about its audience. And we go out of our way to try and make it as pleasant an experience as it can be to work with us. And we're very supportive to people who do all sorts of projects and things, including yourselves. And that attitude, we wanted to see that run in the label as well, which is lots of people are just stiffed, rotten by some ghastly record contract or some shithead in a suit, and we wanted to come at it from a completely different angle, which is, we're here to support you, not the other way around. You're not our living. I mean, you are, but you're not. That's not a priority. We just about survive doing gigs, so we don't have to put it all on the label to make it work, and that means we offer more generous deals to our artists, and we don't take on a lot of bands. I mean, so as really we can concentrate on the bands that we do have. And that's something that I think is an overall philosophy behind Megadog and Planet Dog, and something very strong link between Michael and myself. And I believe that Michael has taken that ethic and put it into the label and has done real well with it.
These folks have left their common sense at the door.
Club Dog, in the short term, is probably not going to do anything at all, because we decided to close down Club Dog after a very long run and not open it again until we could think of something new to do with it. Megadog, on the other hand, though, things for Megadog, where is it moving on to? I think that, I mean, you know, there's sort of boring aspects to it. I mean, for example, like saying, you know, we're probably doing one, if not two, major UK festivals this year. I cannot say which one of them is, but in fact, I can't say what the other one is either, but they're pretty obvious. There are only two, apart from Reading. So it's the one that isn't Reading, guys, and, you know, hoping to spread the wings a little bit more internationally. We're very much looking into trying to get into America with what we're doing, because everyone keeps saying that the live techno scene and the techno scene generally just isn't happening there. A lot of people want it to, but it isn't happening. And we feel maybe we could do what we've done here, which is be the people who get the techno scene to happen and to mean something and move on over there. Also, I mean, the same applies to Europe. I mean, the kind of techno and dance that works in Europe tends to be dominated by Germany. the German sound. I mean, it's funny, there's some old friends of ours really, who used to be a band called Microgroove, who suddenly become terribly well known as Freak Power, that Levi's ad. The track's great. I mean, it is a great, shuffly, groovy track. And we all thought it was some American type. You know, little did we realise it's actually from South London, you know, and that he was always a person here with a good attitude and a really great way of working. We worked with Microgroove at Club Dog. And I think it would be really exciting to throw bands like that into the techno environment. But all I know is that you've got to move on to survive, and I don't want to be, you know, working down McDonald's next year. I'd like to carry on doing what I'm doing and trying to stretch the boundaries of it. So maybe in the future, you know, Megadog will become the true... I mean, it's been likened to a festival more times than I can think, you know, in terms of interviews and reviews and write-ups. And maybe it's time that we were one, you know, and truly were one, which meant that music can be as diverse as you care to have it. As long as you're entertaining people and you're entertaining them well, then hopefully everyone will see the sincerity of what we're doing, and they'll be maybe a little bit less judgmental and a little bit more supportive. And maybe if they are, they'll surprise themselves.